He's live streaming his entire day today in Iowa. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't think it's going to be very exciting, to be honest with you. Watching Rand Paul for an entire day, I would say that will be one of the low-rated shows in history.
They said that she was not a plant. They didn't set her up. You say they're lying.
All right, I will. First of all, Bush is so low in the polls, I don't think it matters. But it was a Bush plant. And what happened is, if he can't put a plant in a room with thousands of people and not get caught, how is he going to deal with Russia, China, and Iran? I don't think it's going to work so well for us.
All right, Donald Trump attacking not only Senator Rand Paul, but Governor Bush. We should stress here that the Bush folks have said of that so-called plant at this No Labels event in New Hampshire that they had nothing to do with it, and stand by that. And the young lady that in question stands by that, said she was asking her own questions. Nevertheless, an attack is an attack, and attack lines like that have been, well, the wind at Donald Trump's back, and the wind at his back when it comes to poll numbers, because even though Ben Carson has narrowed that gap, it is still Donald Trump who is on top. Charlie Kirk is one to say, you know, like him or not, let Trump be Trump. GOP strategist Kathy Taylor says it's all going to implode on him. Charlie, you're not convinced of that. Why not?
Yeah, you know, personally, I might disagree with some of the attacks that Donald Trump throws. But look, his whole campaign is about running against the political class. From his perspective, the worst possible thing that he should do is try to act like the political class. His whole idea and the mentality behind his candidacy is try to surround himself with people that are not part of the Washington, D.C. Beltway circle. And, you know, the attacks at times, I know that we say, oh, he's going to drop in the polls after this attack, or there's no way he'll survive this. It just keeps on going up and up, and he's defying gravity in that regard. And I think Trump, it's not just his substance, but it's his style that is getting people's attention.
Well, it is working thus far, Kat. I mean, it's been going on now for almost 4 months, and it seems to be working for him. What do you make of it?
Right. Well, Charlie's right in that, you know, Trump can be Trump. But I think what we're seeing, and we saw it with his tweeting last night, is that he can still be Trump, but instead of delivering a sucker punch, maybe a jab is okay. And actually, even a little more presidential. I mean, at the end of the day, he's not running to be the leader of the Freedom Caucus, while that might be a very important job. He's running to be the leader of the greatest nation in the free world. And in order to win, he's going to have to broaden his appeal.
Well, he did. You know, you mentioned his tweets during the Democratic debate. He did dial back a little bit to me. I mean, maybe he was just tired and all, but he had a couple of zingers, but not nearly as vituperative as he's been.
That's right. That's right. I mean, here's Hillary Clinton yesterday with this ridiculous union rally in front of his Trump Vegas hotel. And last night he calls her out on Iraq. He calls her out on the Trans-Pacific trade deal. But he also congratulated her today, and that's a little more subdued.
So, Charlie, what do you think of that? If he slightly changes the tone a little bit to do that, to attack, but to attack on substance and stuff?
Sure, and I think, again, he has to be a little bit careful, because what has made him ascend so quickly? Let's look back at when he launched his candidacy. All the D.C. political insiders said there's no way that this guy could ever get any sort of traction. And what does he do? He does the exact opposite of what every consultant on K Street would advise him. He doubled down on a very aggressive policy on immigration.
The worst thing you can do now is to start following that advice to locate it.
I think none of us know how to predict what's going to happen with Donald Trump. But what I'd say is if he keeps on doing the opposite, it seemed to be working for his candidacy.
The one thing we can count on with Donald Trump is that he's predictable. And while that used to be the kiss of death for a politician, in the case of Trump and even for Dr. Carson, it's actually proving to be pretty effective. And as we start to talk about the economy and think about it, we're almost at the end of the year. We've barely talked about jobs in the economy. This is an area where Trump can really shine and still be, you know, his tough outsider and win on this.
All right. I want to thank you both. It is incredible. And Donald Trump says, you know, even when I say, you know, they come at you with a pea shooter and you come back at them with a, you know, bazooka, he's fine with that. He's okay with that.